The following is a hellspiritfreedom.com exclusive. If this doesn't resonate with you, that is perfectly okay. God bless and enjoy the episode. Welcome to the Hell Spirit Freedom video and podcast. I'm Matt Michael. Today I wanted to I was feeling drawn intuitively to speak from the heart. So if I'm a little bit all over the place in this video and stumbling on my words, it's because I have absolutely no notes or pattern of what I want to say here. I have a few ideas, but I don't know if I've said this on past podcasts yet, but I follow my guidance to an intuition. I follow my intuitive guidance to a T at this point. And, making this video is just, no matter how people take it or what people think about it, I don't really care, man, because I'm at the point of surrendering directly to my intuition. And that's part of the spiritual journey that everybody will learn to do eventually. And I've done a lot of growth in that in the last couple of years. But today I wanted to talk about what's more important, finding love or attaining material wealth. Now, I've gone through a long stretch of journey with this, going from one extreme to the other, man. And there was a lot of harsh lessons. And it's been crazy. And yeah, if you guys are watching on video, you can kind of see my new quarantine haircut here, self-done, Lex Luthor inspired, because I'm watching the show Supergirl right now, because I'm that nerdy, because I love the superhero CW shows. So yeah, inspired by Lex Luthor. It was a little shorter not too long ago. So anyway, you guys may or may not have seen the twin flame video I made in the story about meeting mine previously. And that is on the twin flame playlist on YouTube, or recently on the podcast if you haven't seen it already. I mean, that night, my perspective had slowly changed throughout my time, my spiritual growth, because before all this, I was really I was focused on material goals, man. And I wasn't really focused on love at all. It took a backseat big time. Even in a lot of my previous relationships, I wasn't letting anything get in the way of working my ass off constantly. And, a lot of my friends have said to me, I've never seen someone work harder than you. And sometimes I don't even know how I did it in the past. Now it's like, I'm still a really hard worker, but I'm just a lot more balanced now. And I'm very mindful of my time and not spending it all on work, man, because that's a recipe for disaster in life, whether it hits you now or later on. But it's like in the 3D realm, man, it's like, it's hard to really, it's really hard to build wealth. At least we think it is, without working your ass off, man. It's a lot of work and a lot of learning and a lot of everything. Throughout my time, I mean, I had worked myself into the ground physically going for wealth a couple of years ago, to the point where, and I was just going in circles, not getting anywhere. Like, I had some successes for sure, but I was mostly going in circles, and everything happens for a reason. I hit a rock bottom point, and that was my first ayahuasca ceremony 2 years ago. I found that, man. And that's what really kickstarted my journey back on track to what really matters. Not that, making money and all that stuff doesn't matter in this physical realm. It does, because we need it. But is it the most important? I certainly used to effing think so, man. But my perspective has changed a lot over the last couple of years because of the experiences. And a lot of why I thought the way I did, and I know this is going to resonate with a lot of people, is because relationships seem to always let you down, man. Why would you chase love when it doesn't seem to exist? Like, true love doesn't seem to exist. And I'm going to talk about like relationship love, but also just love in general for family and friends and pets and all that. We can see love in our pets. That's the most purest unconditional love we can find, man. If we give that love to them, they'll give it right back unconditionally. And that really taught me a lot, having my dog and everything, which you guys can see on Instagram if you want to see him, because that's mostly what my Instagram is. And yeah, I know I'm all over the place and I'm losing my train of thoughts a little bit. This is speaking from the heart, guys, not a perfection, outlined thing. And now I'm losing my train of thought. But no, you can really learn unconditional love from that. And I had some real shit relationships, man, over the last few years. And I can't play the victim on those, because I chose them, man. I chose those experiences both before coming into this life and during, consciously. A lot of times I would meet someone, and they may have not been the ideal person that would match for me, but it was convenient, and we were having fun, with surface level things, but it was never like this deep love thing, and that was also largely my fault too, because my heart was like closed, it was totally closed. And whether that's a result of a past life thing or this life, I think it was a combination, because a lot of past life events repeat themselves in your current life. Like my parents got divorced when I was very young, and that really kind of stuck with me. And I don't want to go into it too much detail for respect of them, but I may talk about it in the future. And it just kind of put this veil of just, that was my first impression of relationships, man, seeing my parents break up, and it's not their fault or anything. It was all meant to happen how it did. But that was the experience I had, and that stuck with me. And I just figured, no matter what, this is always going to happen, no matter what relationship you're in. I look around, and I was choosing to look at the people that were going through similar experiences in relationships, and like failing to kind of put my focus more on the people I know that have had really long, successful relationships and marriages, man, like through thick and thin. My cousins come to mind right now. They've been together since high school, and they're almost late 40s, I think now. But I was choosing to look at all the shitty incidents. And as a result of my beliefs, because of what happened, I was attracting all these people into my life, all these women into my life that were repeating those patterns. And that's really the underlying statement of not only love, but everything, financial patterns. Like my parents' divorce, in my mind, had a lot to do with money, even though I later found out it wasn't the case. One of my parents leaving the other for finances was my impression for a long time. But the reality of it was as a result of major deep traumas and depression on one side, that really was the reason for it. And that really, but because of my thinking from that experiences, I was like pushing money away most of my life. Okay. Because I was like, looked at it as the enemy. And that's not the case. It's a tool, man. Money's a tool. And a lot of us have that embedded in us, like, it doesn't matter, whatever. But no, it's a tool, man. And it can be exchanged with love. Totally. And I had a business teacher that really taught me that quite a bit a few years ago. So I had a really, really big time learning experience with my last relationship, which ended a couple years ago, right before the start of my spiritual journey with ayahuasca, which a year ago today, it was pretty close to it. Today is my day of birth on this earth / Earth Day / the 444 portal / whatever 222 portal, whatever it is, 422-2020. And I'm a little bit of numerology guy. I'm a little bit of an astrology guy, but by no means am I a freaking pro at this stuff. I get annoyed by astrology sometimes, to be honest with you, and numbers. But I've done a lot of following over the last couple of years and learning about it, and I get a lot of the meanings. I know it's a big day. Not only that, but a year ago, Uranus went into Taurus, or conjuncted Taurus, on my birthday too, which when I looked it up at the time, it was like, I just happened to come across this article that said, if your birthday's today, this is like a direct message to you. You know what I mean? That was a year ago. But these astrology, from what I've learned, don't happen. The results of it doesn't happen instantly. It plays out over time. So and I know I'm going off topic here, but so when you hear an astrology reading, it's not necessarily going to happen instantly. It's almost like it's like a progression. And I remember the person I got a reading from one time. I used to do readings a lot back in the day, like a couple of years ago, because when you're first awakening, that's kind of like all you want to do. You just want to know what's going to happen, And it doesn't even matter, because most of the readings are wrong and false anyway. But there was one person I went to, and even his wasn't completely accurate. It's never going to be. But a lot of it came to pass, including meeting my twin flame in the physical about a year ago, a little less than a year ago. And including, I'm trying to remember what else, including leaving my job too. He said I would know the day I would know what the day that I was supposed to leave, and that came true too. But that really resonated a lot, and I'm totally forgetting what the heck my point was with that. Darn it. Oh yeah, Uranus, Taurus. Anyway, a lot of it comes true over time. And I'm sorry, I'm missing my point on that, but hopefully that was helpful in some way, because I was obviously guided to say it. So getting back to love and material wealth, I was chasing money constantly. Like, my relationship was on the back burner with the person I was with. And so I can't like put all the blame on this person for everything, but she was there to be a very powerful dark mirror for me. And, you know, I attracted her and she attracted me because we weren't loving ourselves, man. And we weren't therefore going to have a hard time loving each other. But with that said, I had a really powerful experience with her. She was a Reiki master at the time when I wasn't. And she used to do Reiki on me a lot before we even dated or anything. And I remember this one day where she was giving me Reiki and she literally felt my heart open up. And when that happened, everything felt completely different around me. I thought of everything differently. And unfortunately, but fortunately, because I had a lot more to learn, she wasn't exactly faithful during this process, and that heart closed right back up shortly after I found out. And if you want to hear that story, that's from a podcast a couple of years ago that you could find. And I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, probably in the podcast playlist. But anyway, that was a huge learning experience that at this point I'm really grateful for, because it really got me to where I needed to be with love and forgiveness and all that, man, because that's the key to moving forward in the law of attraction and life, man, especially in these times where the energies are changing so much. We are in a major transformation period that all of us don't realize how big it is. Not even me, man. I get it a little bit more than most others, but I still don't know. You know, we're moving in from a hellish on earth type reality to a heaven on earth type reality eventually. But this is the transition period where darkness has to come to light. Excuse me. Drinking some cucumber drink here. So this is a transition period, and you know, I'm a little bit ahead of the game because I know that intuitively I'm going to be teaching people how to navigate this darkness. So I've gone through it the last couple of years intensely, super intensely. And I speak about this frequently on past episodes. And ayahuasca was a big part of that, as well as doing a lot of subconscious belief changings with Psych K and other methods. Because changing your beliefs is really key to attracting what you want in life, whether it be, you know, material wealth or love or whatever, anything, whatever it is. But in order to do that, and I can only speak for this moment in time where the energies are getting, you know, the vibrations of earth are getting much higher, the only way to do that now is to work through your own darkness. When the energies were lower vibration, more of a dark dominated oriented thing, excuse me, you could get away with doing selfish things to gain material wealth. But now that's all changed. And you can see it in the earth because all these millionaires and billionaires are losing all their shit. You know what I mean? And it's not going to be everybody. It's just those that have a lot of karma behind them, that the karma is coming to fruition now. Being a former wrestling fan, Vince McMahon comes to mind right now. He is getting hit hard from all corners right now of karma. And it's well known that he has treated his employees terribly over the years. I mean, God knows what else he's done. There's a lot of stories about him. I think more is going to come out, but he's just the first example that comes to mind. I mean, look what's happening to him right now. The XFL got, you know, canceled. His ratings are in the shitter. He may lose his TV deal. He may, like, he's getting nailed, man. He's getting sued several times. And for years, he just kind of, you know, he was a businessman, and what we were taught in business is be ruthless, you know, and that's what he did. But that's not how it works in the grand scheme of things, especially in these energies now where all karma or dharma, which is like positive karma, is now coming back to the people that have worked either one way or the other. And a lot of you will feel this in your own lives, and there's nothing wrong with it. We all have to own up to the karma that we did. I had to. I'm still doing it right now. And really what that comes with is doing the inner work. And that's what we'll be teaching on Health, Spirit, Freedom primarily, in both paid courses and for free on here. And the inner work, if you guys don't know what that is, go back and listen to the episode I did on the inner work, because I will explain it a little bit more. But to sum it up, really, it's like identifying either a personal problem or a fear you have or whatever, and then saying no, putting a boundary around that fear, and then facing it, whether it's in meditation or in real life, and then releasing it, you know, asking for release. And you do that a lot. I'm not going to say a number because it's going to be overwhelming to people how many times I've done this. And I've been told that other people's paths will be easier than mine has been, because what they call a wayshower, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't mean I'm special or anything. It's just, I'm just here to make everybody else's lives coming after easier than mine was, going through this. Thankfully, you don't want to go through a lot of the shit that I went through, but at the same time, there are people that came before me that went through even more shit, and I listen to them and I'm like, I can't even imagine going through that much, man. I had enough hell this past couple of years, but it's all for divine reason. It's all for a purpose. Anytime we go through that, it's growth. Just think about a really hard time in your life you went through and what followed after. What did you learn from it, man? Like, remember, we hear stories all the time of people losing family members, which is like the most godforsaken, like difficult thing to go through. And it like kills you, but you come out and you're like, a lot of people say, I wouldn't have done this if it weren't for, or if it weren't for this, if it weren't for losing my sibling or whatever it might be. It's just, it's hard to accept, but it's like, it's motivating for people at times. And, if a loved one gets sick, a lot of people fight for that sickness. They fight to find a cure or whatever it might be. So that's kind of the point I'm making here. And I know I'm getting a little bit off topic, but so when I was chasing material wealth before this, and a lot of things, and when I got opened up to love, guys, and this is going to sound absolutely crazy, and I already went over this in the twin flame story, but the night I met my twin flame, whom I never met in my life and had no clue that she was my twin flame at the time or had a clue. And this doesn't, regardless of whether you have a twin flame or not, it doesn't matter. It could be a soulmate. I mean, there's no guarantee my twin flame and I will be together at any point. I think we will, but it's free will, man. So you can't make someone do anything. But either way, no matter what, I learned that meeting her changed my life entirely. Changed my entire thinking entirely. From that moment on, I was no longer praying to God entirely for like material wealth, like relief, like financial relief, all that. I mean, I still pray for that, but it was no longer like what felt the most important to me. It was like love, man. And by saying that, it doesn't mean that I'm chasing love in every person I meet and like struggling to find it constantly. I'm actually not, man. I'm not looking at all. I'm just letting it flow to me when the time is right, because that's really what happens, man. That's really what happens. And, I used to go on online dating sites and all that. And most of the people I met on there, even though they were, some of them are really good friends to this day, but they were not really good. They were not positive romantic experiences, man. And looking back, the ones that I met naturally without doing that were the more positive ones. Now, I'm not saying if you feel the need to go into a dating website, don't do it, man, because everything that you're doing is meant to happen for a reason. If I didn't go through all those experiences, I wouldn't be the person I am right now, and I wouldn't be open to meeting whoever I'm going to end up with. You know what I mean? Like, you have to go through that. So whether it be a soulmate or a twin flame, man, like a lot of people that are in, regular soulmate type relationships, maybe karmic ones, but more positive soulmate like relationships will tell you that, man, like it changed their whole perspective when they met that particular person. And this was that times 1,000 with the twin flames. People that are aware of the twin flame journey will know what I'm talking about. Because I sure as heck, I mean, dude, let me just say this and go on a limb. I never believed in love at first sight in my life. I thought it was the most garbage bullshit thing on planet Earth until I ran into my twin flame randomly at a concert. And that changed for me forever after that. And it took me way off guard. Long story short, if you want to hear that, go to the twin flame playlist and listen to the story. And, she is coming to my awareness again, actually, since I posted that video. But it's a complicated journey. It has to be taken with caution, and it has to be respected. Free will has to be respected on both sides. So like I said, there's no guarantee we'll come together. But no matter what, whether I end up with my twin flame or a soulmate, like, the bottom line is the lessons were learned for me to really open up to love, man. And I encourage anybody who's focusing on material wealth to really try to focus on love first. When someone told me that a while ago, or when I came to that conclusion on my own, I was like, come on, man, come on. I want to, be successful. And after I'm successful, I'll find love, Well, in this day and age, maybe it worked that way before, not so much now, man. Not with these new 5D energies coming in. It's not going to work like that. And until we focus on love first, and not just romantic love, I mean, just generally unconditional love for everybody around you, and especially your family, pets, and whatever else, that is going to have to come first. And I remember when I was listening to spiritual teacher a while ago. This is coming to mind along the same topic. She said, before your whole life changes, as far as shifting from a 3D, 4D timeline, a hellish on earth, whatever timeline, to a more heavenly on earth timeline, you're going to have love come in first before financial wealth. And I was like, come on. I'm working so hard for this right now. What, are you kidding me? I don't even know. And at that time, a twin flame wasn't even in my mind at all. I wasn't even aware of it, man. I was aware of the concept, but I was just like not really aware that it was a possibility. And, but like I said, man, like after going through the life experiences, and if you want to have these experiences, you may be thinking I'm full of shit right now. I don't blame you. I would have too. But if you want to be open to maybe thinking otherwise, just say a prayer and set your intention for those experiences to come into your reality, man. And you'll get them. That's really all it has to do. Whatever you want in life, you hold the intent for it. And you'll have to go through some difficult shit, and you'll have a million doubts and all this stuff, but it's just part of the journey. But if that's what you want in life, if you want material wealth in this day and age, focus on love, man. I mean, that's been my biggest lesson. I remember that's my same ex-girlfriend who did a lot of Reiki and everything. She was, a big time psychic, whatever. And I remember her saying something along those lines, similar to me too. Like, you're in this life to learn love. And I was like, come on, that's bullshit, man. And yeah, I'm awakened to that now. I'm absolutely awakened to that now. And the pure importance of it, man. If you can have all the material gain you want, man. A lot of people who have had, shitloads of material wealth will say this. If you don't have, like, if you're not surrounded by people you love, like, it means nothing. It really means nothing. You're not going to be happy. You're going to be miserable. You really are. And that's definitely a realization I've come to. So that's all I'm going to say on this topic today. I hope it was resonating and helpful for those of you out there who are open to hearing this. And it was literally just an all over the place speaking from the heart, guys. So I hope you could follow what I'm saying easy enough. I'm just going to end with, for those of you going through tough times right now, just know that the light does come in eventually, and you may have to go through it off and on for a while. And it's very hard, but I mean, that's where faith comes in, man. If you're not with God right now, and I'm going to say it, get back with God, man. I left being close to a close relationship with God for a long time. And the experiences I've had brought me back to it. You may start by saying the universe gives you this, the universe gives you that, because people are programmed to kind of at the word God and Jesus and whoever else the other teachers are, Buddha and whoever else. Doesn't matter which religion you are, man. Religion is irrelevant. Honestly, it's we're all talking to the same higher being, which we are fractals of. We are the higher being, man. We just don't have that memory. If you do a plant medicine ceremony, you may open up to that experience as more so as I did. So, yep. So at this point, 50% of you will think I'm absolutely wacko crazy. Why am I listening to this? Fuck. Oh, excuse my language. And human swears are invented, by the way. And and the other 50% of you are going to be like, maybe he's got a point. But regardless, I don't expect anybody to believe anything I'm saying. In fact, there's no need for you to believe anything anybody's saying. Not the news, not something you read online. Go research for yourself, because the only way to really discern truth, and especially your own truth on what you need to do, is by listening to your gut feeling, by listening to your intuitive gut feeling. What feels right to you? And sometimes you may read something and it may not feel right to you out of fear. And if that's the case, there's probably some truth in it. But if you're not in a state of fear and it doesn't feel right to you, then trust it. Okay. If it doesn't feel right to you and you're in a state of fear, there's probably some truth to it. And there's some fear you need to work through around it in order to kind of open more to whatever that is. So I'm going to end right here. God bless, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope it resonates with those of you it's meant to resonate with. So if you want more content, please subscribe on YouTube and Instagram. What am I saying? YouTube, podcast, Instagram, whatever else. The best place is YouTube at this point, guys, or the podcast. That's where I'll be posting everything at this point. All the information for that is in the description box. Currently, Health Spirit Freedom does not offer any paid content. This is all just getting put out there. My intuition tells me we'll be making this giant course type thing to help people navigate the darkness to the light into 5D at some point in the future. starting this year at some point. But right now, this is just stuff I'm guided to put out, plain and simple. And that's about it. All the info's in the description box. Please join me on social media. Probably Instagram is the best way to connect more personally with me. And I look forward to connecting with more of you. And sending love. God bless. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. Please like, subscribe, and or share if this resonates with you, as it assists us in helping others. Also, if guided, join our free 5D Ascension community discussion group on Facebook, linked in the description. Visit healthspiritfreedom.com for free email updates, Ascension news, videos, guides, and more, including updates on our upcoming online programs, the Hyperspeed Highway to 5D Health and Heaven on Earth. Also, visit us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and anywhere podcasts are found. All links are either in the show description or video podcast description box, or on healthspiritfreedom.com. I'm Matt Michael, sending you love and positive energy. God bless.